Hello, traders. This is Dave with the SPY Super System uh, Options Room and Alert Service. It's just going to be a quick video I wanted to put out on the trading that we've done in the last week when the market has dropped so much. I'm sure you're familiar with the huge drop we've had in the indexes. SPY dropped 10% in 2 days. Very big sell-offs on the Dow Jones Industrials, down about 3,900 points in 2 days. Very severe drop. And I just want to go over the results that we had and why we're able to maintain profitability month after month, regardless of the trading conditions or the market conditions. So we'll go into that right now. All right, so good evening or good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Again, this is going to be fairly quick. I'm not going to go into an awful lot of detail, but I do want to cover some of the results. All right, first thing I have to do is the disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities we provide here are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, and so we won't be giving investment advice. Okay, this is just kind of a graphic of this alert service that we have. I send this out on very high probability trades. That's all we take is high probability trades. This is kind of what it looks like when it comes across in your phone. A couple of rules we have to trade in the room and on the alert service. One is we trade the best and skip the rest, and this is really important. We're only trading the very best setups, and part of the very best setups depends on what the market's doing. So that's how we're able to maintain profitability during these very volatile times in the market. And skip the rest, and this is the most important thing. We skip trades that may or may not work, but don't give us a high enough probability of profitability. And a lot of times this is the most important thing, because as people overtrade, especially in the market that we've had lately, you can really get clobbered pretty bad. The other rule is our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. This is what we're trying to do. We don't really care what the market's doing. We just we care what it's doing as far as our setups are concerned, but we don't worry about whether it's bullish, bearish, neutral, choppy, trending. We don't care. We have strategies to take advantage of any of those particular conditions, and you'll see what we were able to do this week with the market doing what it did. All right, so again, maintain discipline. In the room we teach this. This is very important. Maintain discipline means stick with the strategies that you know work 80% of the time, and most of our strategies work between 85 and 90% profitable. Winning rate, that's pretty good. A win rate of 85 to 90%. We maintain that most every month. And then remain patient, and this is really the hardest thing for most traders to do, sitting around. But we're trying to remain patient, remain calm. Don't let your emotions get in the way. And this is really why I wanted to make this video, because if you've been watching the market last week, there's a huge amount of angst in the market, a lot of emotional trading, a lot of people with panic and a lot of fear. And in the room, we just look at it and we say, okay, what it's going to do. We'll wait to see what it does, and we'll take advantage of it. It's not something that's going to scare us. We didn't have a lot of trade positions on. We didn't have any long positions on because of the way the market's been acting, and that's discipline. That's what you have to have, is discipline to maintain your discipline to only take trades that are high probability trades. And when the market says don't trade me, we step away. A lot of days we just won't take any trades. And I know a lot of people don't like that. They come in the room, they're expecting to get trades, but sometimes the best advice I can give you is to just sit on your hands. Don't risk any money right now. As a profitable trader, we need an edge over other retail traders. Remember, we're only trading against retail traders. We're not trading against institutions. We're not going to beat institutions, but we are trading against other retail traders. And if you've got more information and you trade better strategies and better methodologies than they do, you're going to beat them consistently, which is what we've been doing. Our edges, of course, is our SPY Super System software. This is a piece of software that you can buy that goes on your Thinkorswim platform. I'll show you what it looks like. This tells us whether the institutions are in the trades or not. This is one of our guides as far as whether we take a trade or not. It's very critical that we only take trades that the institutions are in and in the direction that they're going. Then we also trade relative strength and relative weakness, another lesser known or lesser used strategy, or lesser used methodology that most retail traders don't pay much attention to. And this doesn't mean RSI, this means relative strength. How is the SPY, how is your stock moving in the relationship to the SPY or the Qs? The SPY is moving sideways and down, and you've got a stock stacking green candles, you've got relative strength. So you can go bullish with a relative strength stock as long as the daily chart is bullish. Very important that the daily chart is bullish as well. And then vice versa on relative weakness. So this is going to increase your edge when you take a stock that has the institutions with it and it's got relative strength. And then we trade with the market trend if there is one. And then we try to buy as close to support or sell as close to resistance as we can. So we're not chasing stocks up that are stacking green candles. We're not chasing them. We're trying to get in at a support or resistance level for a short. If we are able to do that, then our risk is limited by the fact that if we break through our support or resistance after we get in, we'll be able to get out at a very small loss. Okay, so this is how we get an edge over the retail traders. We only take trades that are being driven by institutions. We trade stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness, as I said, versus the SPYs or the Qs trading in the direction of the overall market. It's going to give you a huge edge if you just follow these three criteria. And again, how does this give us an edge? Our trades will be supported by institutional buying and selling, since we're only getting in when the institutions are in that trade. Stocks will be outperforming the index, and we'll be moving in the direction of the overall market. Huge edge if you can just follow these criteria. It's not that complicated, but it's very difficult for most traders to stick to this discipline. Okay, and then this is just kind of the checklist I go through when I'm looking for a stock. First thing I look at is the daily chart. This is critical. I always look at the daily chart first, and then I align the 5-minute chart. So if I'm going to take a stock long, then I've got to have a bullish daily chart. If I'm going to take it short, I have to have a daily bullish bearish chart. And then I'll look at the 5-minute chart to try to find it, get in at a good location as it breaks above a support or breaks below a resistance level. We trade with the trend if there is one for both the stock and the market. Our super system, as I'll show you in just a minute, the SPY super system must be alignment. The institutions must be either going long if we're going to go long, or going short if we're going to go short. And then we look for relative strength and relative weakness. And then we look to enter near support or near resistance. Stocks that drop out of that little that virtual funnel, then you can look at them. I'll look at them a little bit further, get them a little finer technical analysis on them, and pick the best of those. Again, these are what we use in the room and on the alert service. We use straight calls and puts. We use straddles and strangles. We use debit spreads using weekly options expiration. Time spreads, these are we do over earnings. This is a non-directional trade. We don't care where the stock goes. We're just trying to catch the volatility crush that occurs when earnings come out. And then we have a weekly ATM strategy. This is selling puts week after week after week on a neutral to bullish stock. We wouldn't be doing that right now in this market. This market is not conducive to doing weekly ATMs. When we get some neutral to bullish market, then we can go back to doing so again. And we do credit spreads to capture premium, also very difficult to do right now because the market is so volatile. So you have to pick and choose what particular strategies you're going to use. We've been doing some straight puts and calls, and we've been doing quite a few straddles and strangles. Straddles and strangles are also non-directional. We don't care which way the market or the stock moves. We just want it to make a big move one way or the other. The last thing we have is what's called the SPY super system. Now this is a little different than the other strategies that we use in the room. I can't alert on these. I can't even really post them in the room, but I do identify them. I had a video on what the structure is for these, what the criteria is for these, and this is what we trade: the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, or the futures. If you want to trade futures, offer just a 5-minute chart using one of our indicators, and they're very quick trades. You're in them for a short period of time and only one trade at a time, but it has been very, very successful to trade this off of the SPY super system. This is basically the methodology of SPY super system, and we use the software, the SPY super system software, to do that. Okay, the alert service, just for informational purposes, is designed for day trades and short-term swing trades. That means a trade that we're only going to be in during the day, or perhaps overnight, or perhaps maybe 2 or 3 weeks. That's about the max on something like that. Designed for traders who can't watch the market all day. We're going to give you real-time alerts on the highest probability trade setups when they occur. Anything you get is going to be a very high probability trade setup. And we do that by identifying when the institutions are involved in the trade and what the market internals look like. If the market internals are bullish and we've got institutions buying the stock, then that's a good long. If the market internals are neutral, I'll still take trades if the institutions are in them, but it doesn't have quite a big an edge as it does if the market internals are in our favor. And then we look at some additional technical analysis to find those the best of those trades. All right, this is an equity curve from recently. We've had some pretty big runs here off the service. A lot of it was by super system trades that we've been taking intraday that were pretty impressive. This is just the last 3 months here, moving up, and it's been a very good time for us. I mean, listen, we take losses just like everybody does, but the equity curve has been very consistent here lately, and from year to year, it's been very consistent. The room has been open since January of 2022, which is the first, which was a bear market. That was the first month of a bear market. We only had one losing month that whole year, I think, in the next 16 months, just one losing month out of that. And we've had just one losing month in 2024, and a fairly small losing month, about $1,700, which was pretty small compared to the profits that we get normally in the room. All right, so there's the equity. Now this is, I just wanted to show you, this is the SPY Super System software. This is what it looks like. It actually has scanners that come with it. I'm not showing the scanners here, they would be off to the left. But this is the SPY Super System that this sits on top of thinkorswim. You have a thinkorswim platform. You don't have to trade on thinkorswim. I don't trade on thinkorswim, but these are the indicators that come with the software. If you buy the software, the right line folks the technical people will put it right on your thinkorswim platform. If you don't have thinkorswim platform, you can download one and they'll put it on there for you and it'll look exactly like mine. And these are the key things that we're using to find if institutions are in the trade. We have, this is the current time frame momentum that I've got labeled right here. This is the momentum for the current time frame you're looking at. In this case, it would be a 5-minute chart. So this would be a 5-minute current time with momentum for 5 minutes. This is multi-time frame. This would be on 5, 15, and 45. And this is the long-term trend. And this is the actual oscillator that's driving that momentum. Now, the key thing here is the momentum oscillator that we use has the divergence stripped out of it. It's just looking at pure momentum. Pure momentum is what we're looking for. And you want the colors to be blue or green for long, red and yellow for short. So in this particular case here, the 5-minute momentum is bullish. The multi-time frame momentum is bearish. But when you're trading 5-minute candlesticks for just a short-term trade, you can just use this one right here. But for swing trades, you need to have both of these and generally all 3 of these lined up with blue or green for long, red or yellow for short. It's a beautiful piece of software. This is a pivot point. Pivot point is this pivot point is very strong support resistance level. You can see how many times the stock came down, the Qs came down and touched it. Very strong support resistance level. This is the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, that we use all the time on a 5-minute chart for intraday trades. Very critical. All the institutions use this. If you're not using the VWAP on a 5-minute chart, you're really missing the boat, because volume weighted average price is something that all the institutions use. You should not be going long a stock unless it's above the VWAP on the 5-minute chart. You should not be going short unless it's below the VWAP. Now that's one of our support resistance levels we use. This is another one, the 15 EMA right here. So when this price gets away from the VWAP, then we can switch to the 15 EMA as a support resistance level and use that for an entrance to a trade, either short or long. All right, and again, pivot points. This is the software puts these little arrows on here. These are what's called pop signals, or pop out of the box symbols. These identify compression breaks to the downside with blue, and there's compression breaks to the upside with red. All right, so that's what the software looks like. If you decide to buy the software, this is what you'll get. It'll be on there. You'll have a scanner. This is what I post and I have in the room every day. The SPY Super System is up in the room all day long, and we talk about it all day long. So if you don't have it, you'll be able to see what it looks like in the room. Okay, I just kind of quickly wanted to go over the 2023 results. Putting $2,000 per trade into the trades we took in 2023 produced a profit of a little over $60,000. In 2024, putting a little over $2,000 in each trade produced almost $55,000. And a lot of the profitability, of course, is dependent upon what the market's doing. trending market much easier to make more money than in a choppy market, as I'm sure you know if you've been trading in the last couple of months. Very, very choppy, and now extremely volatile. This I just kind of wanted to point out. This is the trades we closed last week, from the 28th of March up and through Friday of this past week, which was 4/4. We just had 4 trades on. That's all. These are all the trades we closed. There's nothing else. These are all the trades we closed. AVGO, which is Broadcom, we entered this trade for 75 cents, so $75 a contract, closed it for $1.04, 39% profit. That was just in one day. That was a spread. Then we did Nike. This thing was a monster, and we took this on 3/28. We entered 285 per contract. We closed it for $9 per contract. That's a 216% profit, the biggest profit we've ever had in one of our trades. This was massive, and of course it was caused by the big drop in the market. But again, we were short AVGO, we were short Nike, we were short Sarepta, and we had a straddle on NNE. We didn't care which direction the trade went. And these are the 4 trades that we had last week that we closed. We closed all 4 of these. AVGO, Nike for 216 profit. Sarepta, we get in at 450, closed it for $8, 78% profit. And NNE entered for $1.80 per contract, get out for $2.25, a 25% profit. Those are the 4 trades we closed. While the SPY was down 10%, over 10% of the SPY was down, we were up 86% on those 4 trades we closed. And again, this is what patience and maintaining discipline does for you. When other people were freaking out about the way the market was going, we were in beautiful shape. We didn't have to sweat it at all. As it turned out here, again, we didn't have a lot of trades on, but we had very good setups. The setup on Nike was perfect, and Sarepta was perfect, and I'll show you that in just a minute. All right, so again, up 86% on 4 trades that we closed, while the SPY was down 10%, and that's quite a lot of money right there that we got for $2,000 on each trade. Okay, now I just kind of want to point out the SPY Super System room and alerts. We only take the very highest probability trades and avoid taking many trades in the market when there's a lot of chop or elevated volatility, such as occurring now. But the number of trades we take is very small when we get a choppy market or a volatile market. For one thing, when you have a real volatile market like we have now, the premiums on the options are sky high. The market makers jack those things up because they don't know how much the market's going to move or the stock's going to move, and they don't even know in which direction. Now, we have strategies that can be profitable in all market conditions, and we adjust our risk and strategies as the market conditions change. That's one of the key things we're looking for. What are the market conditions? I'm always suppressing every day what the market's doing, because what the market is doing drives about 75 or 80% of the stocks in the market. So we've got to align ourselves with what the market's doing and then use a strategy to take advantage of that, or it may tell us that we shouldn't take any trades. And that occurs as well when you have choppy markets. So again, this allows us to capture larger profits when the market conditions are favorable and dial back our risk when the market conditions dictate. And this is why this patience is so important, and why high probability trade setups are so critical, and why you need to stick to that discipline. That's what's going to do that for you. Again, this is pretty, considering the market and everybody was getting absolutely clobbered this week. We were sitting pretty. I mean, everybody was pretty happy about this. Yeah, only 4 trades, but look at the percentage gains we had. Really, really nice. Okay, this is the January, February, March 2025 results so far in the room. 15-3 in the room in January, made 31.35. Very choppy market. So again, this is pretty good just to generate profitability in these conditions. 16-2 in February for 3,800. And March, pretty nice. We get this little jacked up here. So 20 wins, 4 losses, a little lower win rate, but pretty nice profitability. All right, so that's our January, February, March for this year. All right, and this is just, so I wanted to show you what an alert looks like. If you become a member of the room, you also get the alert service. And if you buy the software, you'll get the room and the alert service for 1 month, so you can get a good test on it. On 3/28, this is the alert you got. Nike, buy the April 11th 67 puts for $285. Sell order for $9. They were sold for $9 on April 3rd. Okay, and again, you're going to get the stock symbol as you see here, the option strike price right there, the expiration date right there, and the price to pay for the option right there. And this can sometimes say 285 to 295 or something like that. You could get a little bit of a range. All right, so you get an alert when you get into the trade, and then you'll get another alert, at least one more alert to exit the trade. And there may be some adjustments to it, so you could get more than one exit. If the price goes against us, we may have to lower the price we're going to get out, or if it goes in our favor, we may move it up. So that you'll get alerts on each of those things. All right. And again, how do we achieve these kind of stunning results? Well, we're able to identify when institutions are driving a trade by the SPY super system, and when the market internals are heavily bullish or bearish. So we only take trades when both of those are in our favor. As I said, if the institutions are in the trade, I'll take the trade as long as the market internals are neutral or in our favor. I won't take them if the market internals are against us. Okay, that's how we trade the best and skip the rest. And how does it do this? We do this by the SPY super system identifying when institutions are creating a trend, by doing triple screen assessment, sometimes called fractal, multi-time frame momentum. Momentum is the key thing here, momentum and trend. This is what we're looking for. And it's important to understand what momentum is. Just because you're getting green candles doesn't mean you have momentum. Momentum indicates that as the candlesticks close, as you go from one 5-minute candlestick to another 5-minute candlestick, the close of that candle is closer to the high of that candle, and that shows you the momentum in that particular stock. All right, and again, here is what it looks like. This is the triple Qs right here. This is all the things that we just looked at. Is the VWAP. We have that on the chart. We have the 15 EMA, very important. The pivot point will be there. It's not always there. It only gets put on there when it actually exists. And here's your long-term trend. It's bearish here because it's red and yellow bearish, blue and green bullish. Multi-time frame momentum critical for swing trades. Current time frame momentum critical for intraday 5-minute charts. This is definitely what we use for SPY super system right here is the current time frame momentum. And here's the actual oscillator if you want to see that, so that you can kind of see when it goes from red to blue, it shows it moving up, but it depends on how steep this is as to how strong the bounce is. Okay, this is also a template. You get this template. This is the full template. You also get the small template. This is for folks who want to trade just intraday trades, what we call the SPY super system trades. Only thing we're looking at is the current time frame momentum, the VWAP, and the 15 EMA, because this is what we're using for getting into the trade, right? Like in this particular case here, you see how this went from green to yellow back to green. This is where you take the trade as it broke above the 15, and you'd ride it up, and it starts to flatten out, and you take profits. That's a nice SPY super system trade right there. All right, and this is the results of the SPY super system methodology that we use. Again, this is where we're trading 5-minute candles on the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, or the futures if you want. And these are the results we've had since we started this in July. Profitable every single month. A lot of trades. I mean, there could be a lot of trades. These trades only get one on at a time. They might only last 2 or 3 candles. Sometimes they'll last 10 candles, but a lot of times it's only 2 or 3 candles. So you can get a lot of trades in a day. So if you're a member of the room and you can't be there all day, but you come in the morning at 10 o'clock for an hour, you're likely going to find a couple of SPY super system trades you can take. And these are the results we've had with it. Very excellent results, as you can see. This was the first month we just started, but 8,200, 7,100, 4,800. And again, you're only going to have one of these on at a time, and there'll be short duration trades. Now these profitabilities, this is how much I made on this because I can't post these, but I do tell you when they're set up. And folks in the room, basically they learn how to do these because I have a video on it. I can show you how to trade it, and they trade it. I have a lot of traders that love doing this thing, and this is all they trade. And this is what you use this particular template for. And you get them both with the SPY super system software. You can flip them back and forth and think or swim. All right, and again, this was November, 9,300, December, 10,400. Really a big month. Quite a few losses, but still a big month of profits. And again, I just want to cover October through December. This is the SPY super system results. This is just trading the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM, or the futures. And again, these are the trades that I took, 33 and 4, 48, 31. These were the room trades. This is the ones that got posted, and there was alerts on. So everybody could take these. I post where we get in, where we get out. All the pertinent information is shared with everybody on these particular trades. because they're a little bit longer term. But this money does not include this money, and this money does not include this money. These are separate profitabilities of separate profits and losses from each other, right? So that was October. Here is November. Just quickly, 91% win rate, 93.70 on the SPY Super System, 73.93 on the options room. Very, very good. And again, notice only 16 trades here, all right? There's 59 trades. So again, there's a lot of trades during the day. Some days there's more than others. And occasionally you'll get a day when there won't be any, but some days it can be 4 or 5. And so if you're in the room for a short period of time, you can take advantage of those as well. All right. And again, I have a complete video on how to find these SPY Super System trades. And here's December. Again, very nice. 10,000 here, 4,500 down here in the room. Again, this is based on $2,000 per trade. And this is the October through December. This is the whole fourth quarter of 2024. 24,000 in the SPY Super System, 17,000 on the room. So pretty good, pretty nice profitability, pretty nice win rate. You notice they're very close. As I said, 85 to 90 is normal. Occasionally it'll drop down to 80, but most of the time it stays up around there. All right, and again, this is a couple of trades we took on the SPY Super System just to show you what I meant. This is what we're using is the current time frame momentum. You see that it's gone, it's yellow, which is bearish. Here the institutions are selling, and they're selling, and we're looking for a break. See the 15 EMA? There's a break below the 15 EMA. We take the trade here, we get out here. That was one trade, one candle for a $90 profit per contract on these. And I was using Heikin-Achi candles on here, which is a different. I have a whole video on Heikin-Achi candles. They're very, very helpful for taking SPY Super System trades. All right, and this was another one in the SPY. That same thing we just looked at, but notice this is using the different template we've got. This only shows the current time frame momentum, but it shows exactly the same thing as this. This is exactly the same trade. All right, and you can see this is what we wanted. Breaking down from compression below the 15, stay in it until the stock closes above the 15. But in my case, when it comes down here and I get this wick, this tail on this thing, I'm taking profits. Okay, here's the SPY trade here using the new template. Because this is one we just looked at a little while ago. Same thing. Current time frame momentum is all we're looking at. It switches to green. It's breaking above the 15 with a pop out of the box, a break out of compression. You take it here, you get out here. Okay, and that's how it works. So this was Nike. This is a daily chart on Nike. This is this type of the swing. This is a swing trade we took in Nike right here, and you can see what Nike was doing. We get in on this thing on 328. Remember 328 right here. We took Nike as it comes in. See how it's all red. Institutions are selling the heck out of this thing. You see how it's compressed here and starting to break down. Again, the VWAP here you see in here is not effective. You don't use that on the daily. I don't even use it. What I'm looking at is for a compression break, which I got right here. All right, and when do we get out? We get out right here. We were in it. It worked for a bit. It moved back up and then just flushed right down. This is where we get out of the trade right here for $9. Again, in for 285, out for 9. But it's telling us that the institutions were selling this all the way through here. So it wasn't that hard. Same thing with Sarepta. Sarepta, we get in on 4.1 right here. We probably caught it here earlier, but I caught it on 4.1, I think, on Sarepta. I don't think I took that on the 28th. And so this was a nice breakdown here. And again, we stayed in this thing and we get out right at the end of the week as it broke down right here. That was a really nice 76% winner on that. But see, notice the institutions are selling this. It's not hard to tell when you look at the SPY Super System here. The institutions are selling this. They've been selling it for a long time. It's just a matter of trying to find a spot where you get a nice compression and a nice breakdown where you're going to get in. All right, and that's how we'd use Sarepta. All right, so again, there's the strategies we use. I went over those. I think that this kind of shows the effectiveness of trading high probability trade setups using strict criteria and sticking to your methodology. It's very, very important. And I know a lot of people have got clobbered this week in the last couple of months, but especially this last week. And again, you saw the results we had from this. Again, I'll share those with you. This is what we did this week. Market SPY was down 10%, over 10% in 2 days. 2 days, and we were up 86% on the 4 trades. That's 86% on the the whole 8,000 that we put in here, 2, 4, 6, 8, we're up 86% on, we just did 4 trades. So again, very, very effective. So listen, I want to thank you for listening to the video. You have an opportunity to join the room in the alert service, and/or you can buy this SPY Super System software as well, and have that loaded up on Thinkorswim. And if you do that, you'll get into the room for a month and see if you want to stay in the room. If you learn to use the SPY Super System, you don't really need to be in the room. You can learn to trade it yourself, and you get access to all the videos that I've done on all of these strategies and how we use them. All right, so thanks very much for listening. I appreciate it, and good luck everybody this week. This is Sunday night. The market is down about another 1,000. All right, see everybody in the room. Have a great weekend.